Hello, and welcome back to the Spoilercast, the show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them. And if my voice sounds a little weird and gross, it's because I have either it's a cold or the pollen season has just hit with a vengeance, because I feel like I'm about to die. But we'll power through this.
And then you'll get to rest.
And then I'll get to rest. And I'll probably rest all day tomorrow as well. So, anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Today, we're talking about a new movie. Ooh.
Yes.
One that kind of feels like it's kind of becoming a sleeper hit.
Yes.
Because I haven't seen too much hoopla around it, but it's gotten pretty good reviews. Although the first review I did see was like, this is a terrible movie. And I was like, fuck. Because I kind of liked the trailer. So we went and saw it to see it. Let's see what this is. Is it a future cult classic or is it garbage? Today, we are talking about dangerous animals. Oh my. Oh my. Yes, that's more.
I can't do those accents at all.
What's easier than when you easy when you just do one thing, mate?
Shrimp on the barbie.
That's very offensive. They don't say that. Well, they did. It was an ad in like the 80s. Anyway, yes.
I've heard Australians say it for fun, but
I mean,
whatever.
of course they say it.
Anywho,
we're talking about Dangerous Animals, directed by Sean Byrne, written by Nick Leppard, starring Hassie Harrison and Jai Courtney and Josh Houston, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's a story of free-spirited, hippie, transient lady Zephyr. Jesus Christ, who is on a quest, a spiritual quest in Australia, surfing and whatnot, and then she gets abducted by psychopathic serial killer. What's his name? Bruce Tucker.
Yeah, right, Tucker. Yeah.
Very Australian. Bruce and Tucker. Yeah, and it becomes a fight to the death or fight for her life. Who knows? I don't know which one is it.
It's a fight at least.
Huh?
It's a fight at least.
Oh, it's a fight. All right. Yeah, like I said, directed by Sean Byrne, who hasn't done a lot before. I think he's mostly known for the movie The Loved Ones, which was kind of a talky. It was talked about back in 2009, I remember. I never watched it because it didn't look like something I would like, but I know people talked about like, ooh, this is a cool one. That was in 2009. Then his next movie was 6 years later, and he made The Devil's Candy, which I've never heard of. And then now, 10 years later, he's directing Dangerous Animals. Other than that, he's just done shorts before that. So I don't know, maybe he does like commercials in between, I don't know.
Maybe he has a day job?
Could be. I mean, if you're only doing a movie every 10 years, you're going to have to supplement that income with something else. And then written by Nick Leppard, like we said. Once again, this is the only thing he has written. He has one upcoming movie called Keeper, but that isn't done yet. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's a thriller. It's a serial killer thriller. Ooh.
Yeah.
I know some people. There was like a tag in the trailer. It was like, oh, it's like Silence of the Lambs, but with sharks. And it's like, no, it's not.
That's pushing it.
That's pushing it. But it's definitely a bit of a psychological thriller.
Yes.
More than like a slasher or serial killer movie.
Yeah.
Once again, sorry,
So,
I'm going to be sniveling and I'm going to sound weird, but you're going to have to live with it for this episode.
It's fine.
Jesus Christ.
Let's get into what we usually do. So, what did you think of it?
Well, I liked it. That's all I'll say.
That's all you have to say?
No, that's not all I have to say. But when I saw the trailer, I was like, ooh, this could either be a super interesting, interesting twist on the psychological thriller or like serial killer movie genre.
Yeah.
Premise, or it could be just a terrible like slasher movie with sharks.
Yeah.
And it is somewhere in between, because it does do some interesting things here and there, but ultimately it kind of falls into the same kind of trappings of a regular like girl gets kidnapped by a killer and has to survive.
Yeah. Classic final girl slasher thing.
Yeah, but it did enough to satisfy me. Enough new interesting stuff to satisfy me.
Yeah.
Some good performance as well. I know a lot of people a long time ago wrote off Jai Courtney, which I can understand. He was in a lot of flops.
Sure.
But I always think he is good in the movies he's in, except maybe with Jack Reacher.
He's never been the issue.
Because he didn't have much to do with Jack Reacher. But I love him as Captain Boomerang in the first Suicide Squad. He's like one of the few good things in that movie. And what little he was in the Suicide Squad, the 2021 movie, he's in the beginning, but then they kill him off.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's good in that too. I haven't seen him in a lot more. Like I said, he was in the first Jack Reacher movie. And then he's done like smaller things that I haven't seen. He plays McClane's son in Good Day to Die Hard. Terrible movie, but he's fine in it. Oh shit, yeah. And he's Kyle Reese in Terminator Genesis, the most boring Terminator movie ever made.
He's still fine in it. Like, he's not the issue.
No, he's not the issue, but he's nothing to do with that movie. That's the problem.
No.
But that is not a bunch of
that's
stuff
a lot of his things. He's not really, like, the main lead ever.
No.
He's usually a side character. A big side character, but still a side character.
Yeah.
At least in the ones I've seen him in.
Yeah, and here he had more room to play around with the character.
Yes,
kind of like it with Captain Boomerang, although even more in this one. But it's a very lively, colorful character, and he did very, very good in this movie, I think. And I hope this movie becomes more of a hit, so he gets more bigger roles where he gets the chance to really act out, so to speak.
Yeah, he does have 4 upcoming, so if he's main character though, who knows?
Yeah. But other than that, like pretty standard. Honestly, I could have done with some more gore, because in the beginning, I mean, it's almost like, is this PG-13? Because there's barely any blood for a movie about people getting eaten by sharks. But then there was some more gore later on, but still pretty tame.
It is rated R, so yeah.
Yeah, they could have gone harder though, because it is an R rating. So I don't know. Doesn't really hurt the movie, but it could have made it more fun. But what did you think of the movie?
I'm pretty much the same. It's a good horror film. I don't know if I call this horror, thriller. It's
thriller,
horror,
psychological horror.
Yeah.
Very light on the jump scares, which was good.
Yeah, it had like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But it was mainly just catching you off guard, really.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those, sneak up on you and you know it's gonna get ya.
Yeah.
No, it was actually good jump scares, which I liked. I loved Jai Courtney.
Yeah.
Didn't super love the other actors
they
entirely,
were fine. Hassie Harrison
fine.
was fine. Josh Houston was whatever. And the other girl, Heather,
she didn't have too much to do, so
Ella Newton, she didn't have much to do, but
her.
she was okay. And then there's just a bunch of, bit parts.
Mute, basically.
Like cop, store cashier, surfer one, not really
There's
people.
Someone called Little Girl Lexi, and I don't even remember a little girl in the entire movie, so I don't know.
I'm wondering if that was the family in the photo, or one of Tucker's photos, because he had a family on the boat at one point.
I guess, maybe,
I don't know.
Whatever. I liked it. It's like, I was thinking about how to rate it, and it's a good horror film. This is one of those movies, if my boyfriend wasn't, or my fiance wasn't completely terrified for horror films, I'd show him this. Because it's not like super, super scary.
No.
It's not one of those that'll give you nightmares. It's a good Friday night movie if you want to be a little get your heart pumping a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a good ending and like nothing that's gonna scar you for life compared to some other movies we've seen.
No. Yeah, I think the movie, if the movie gets some sort of, cult status, which I don't think it will, but if it does, it is because of Jai Courtney's performance.
Yes.
But yeah. I'm
And
not.
I liked the premises and all that. Just a little bit cheesy
A little bit.
to a certain point when it
Yeah.
comes to the main character and her interest. But I kind of accept that as well because it's a nice thing. It's nice sometimes just have some cheesy romance in a movie.
Yeah.
It's not common these days to have cheesy romance like that without being like, I don't know, something super serious going on between them, or like they're dying from cancer or whatever. Like this is just it's a cheesy little love story, and then horror on the side. Well, horror story with love on the side.
Yeah,
I liked it. It's a 3.5 for me because I can't give it more than that. But I want to give it more than average because I've been missing these kinds of movies.
I would say it is a 3, but maybe bumped up to 3.5 because of Jai Courtney.
Yeah, like he adds an extra half a star.
Yeah.
And then in general, I liked it. It was entertaining. It was well made. I had one technical issue at one point.
Yeah.
With with some pretty bad CGI. It's just one thing.
Can you say without spoiling anything?
It's one of the sharks.
Oh,
I'll give you that. Towards the end. One of the sharks towards the end.
Because I'm pretty sure most of the shark footage is real.
Yes, I believe so, but there was one shark that was not.
Oh, okay.
And it was obvious.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I mean, the sharks were really cool. Yeah. It was really... I love the sharks. I fucking hate sharks. They're scary, but they're cool as well.
Yeah. Yeah, this did something interesting. That's the thing. Where I mean, the sharks aren't like the main bad guy. They're just
threat.
They are kind of a gimmick. The main threat is Jai Courtney's character Taga.
Like obviously.
Yeah. But I like how they portrayed the sharks, and especially how they like immediately in the beginning, because it starts with a kind of a cold open, obviously, with a couple of victims before the main plot starts. We can say that because it's the beginning of the movie. That's not really a spoiler. There's a couple or two. They're just friends, but they've been hanging out. Whatever. They're going on his boat.
They had a fun night the night before.
Yeah. They go on Bruce Tucker's experience. He does shark dives in cages. And it's a guy and a girl, and the girl is very hesitant to do it. Like she doesn't want to get into the water, which I fully understand.
I mean, it wasn't really planned. It was kind of spur of the moment.
Yeah.
So
I was the way they then portrayed it was that she got in the water. She was super scared, but as soon as she was able to calm down, she could appreciate the beauty. Of sharks. And I think that is the very, very interesting thing about, marine life in general, but specifically sharks, because they are, not all, all sharks to a certain degree are very vicious. They are predators, even if the smaller ones are not, they're dangerous, but they're not dangerous,
Sharks as a species is an apex predator. Yes.
And as soon as she got over that fear, she could see what makes them such interesting creatures.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for me. I would say very, I guess it's a boomer thing or like an old guy thing, but I love nature documentaries. Especially stuff, even though I wouldn't go so far to say I'm going to say it. I have thalassophobia.
Yes, I do.
I barely go in, I don't even, I like to swim. I loved to swim in the ocean and lakes when I was younger. But then there wasn't my life wasn't threatened or anything. It was one a minor incident just made me scared. And after that, it was never the same. And I just don't like going in deep water anymore. If you're just by the beach, just swimming, so you can still see the bottom, you can swim up, you're just a couple of 6-7 feet down, that's fine. But more than that, the open ocean, fuck that.
Which incident? Not with the tiny fish, right?
No.
In your swimsuit.
This was actually before. It happened before that, but it didn't really catch up to me until later. It was me and a friend, William Pilgrim. Remember him?
Yeah, I remember.
So it's supposed to be like more than 25 years ago. We were out in the lake.
Nah. They lived on our street when I was 10, so 20 years ago.
Okay. 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like 12, 15, somewhere around there. And we went out in this little inflatable boat in the middle of the lake, you know.
All right.
And the boat had a little bit of a leak. So we were like, we can't sit in it. We got to get out of the boat and swim back. We were maybe 200 yards from the shore. And it's this little lake. There's barely any fish in it.
Yeah.
But the waters are very murky. And I just snapped. I couldn't handle it. I was like, fuck. I was panicking.
But you got to shore, so you're fine.
I got to shore, I was fine, yeah. And after that, I was fine for years and years. But then, slowly but surely, I got more and more afraid of it. And now I'm just like, I do not go into the water.
It's scary, though.
It is.
It's so dark that it looks like it's leagues deep in the middle.
It is pretty deep, but it's not like...
It is pretty deep.
It's not super deep. But there's also, you know, all the unsubstantiated, like, legends about it that, you know, people went through the ice and then never found the bodies and stuff like that. Because people go ice skating in the winter there, or used to.
We spread a rumor among our friends that there was a monster at the bottom, obviously.
Yeah.
The reason they had to take away the little docks at the beach was because they found a dead body underneath it.
Yeah, exactly. Those were the stories I heard.
Which is not true. It just rotted and they just had to take it away.
Sure, yeah. But stuff like that, and then, you know, the more you learn about the deep ocean, it is both mesmerizing, like learning about all the deep sea creatures and everything, but it's also terrifying. And then especially sharks, because they are, like, sure, shark attacks are very rare, but just the nature of the shark, this more or less immortal, like, apex predator who never stops swimming, just kills anything it comes across,
anything that moves.
Yeah, it gives you have such reverence.
It's
for
irrational fear.
It's fear and wonder at the same time.
Yes,
and that's what
it's irrational fear, so it's fine.
Well, I mean, people do get attacked by sharks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a rational fear. Irrational fear, not irrational.
Okay, yeah. It's a rational fear. Yeah.
Rational fear.
Yes.
Valid.
And I think they portrayed that very, very well throughout the movie. Even towards the end. I just loved that part of it.
Yes.
And Tucker's fascination with them as well. Made it very interesting that they didn't portray them as monsters, because they're not. They're animals.
No. Exactly.
The monster here was man.
Which we say often is the problem. Man is usually the bigger monster in the equation. Yeah.
So I like.
But overall, I thought it was a really good really good movie. I made a mental note to there was one scene where they zoom out to show you like how far out that boat is, how empty, how vast the ocean around it is. And all I could think of was on the ocean, no one can hear you scream.
Yeah.
As in, you know.
As in Alien, yeah.
Yes. Which they should have had as a tagline, but they had "The ocean leaves no trace."
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's still good. It actually made me think of, you know, the TV show Dexter?
Yes.
And he disposes of the bodies in a deep, like, sea trench. He cuts them up in pieces.
I thought he put them in like barrels and shit.
That's another serial killer in one of the seasons later.
Okay.
And he throws them in there. You know, he wraps them in plastic, and he puts them at the bottom of the ocean. And I'm like, yeah, it's in Florida, so maybe it's not shark infested. But wouldn't it be you should just feed them to sharks? Like find a shark.
Crocs?
Yeah.
Alligators?
Because in the second season, they find all of the bodies and they start like chasing him. Yeah.
Lord.
They don't know it's him, but whatever. And that just hit me like, yeah, Tucker gets rid of all the bodies because he feeds them to sharks. It's genius.
Yeah, it is genius.
Yeah.
Which is why you should always dump your bodies at the sea, but you need to be far out enough and you need to attract sharks.
Yeah. Anyway.
Let's get into spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, because
we're like 20 minutes in, right?
Yeah, there's not much more to say about the movie without spoiling specific things.
And I think you should watch this without spoilers. It's more interesting that way.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, most movies are.
Yeah.
But But we don't want to spoil what happens unless you've seen it. So
Yeah.
take a pause, go watch it, and come back.
Yeah.
As we usually say.
Yeah, and I think it does deserve to get, maybe not call it like a fucking like a masterpiece or anything, like a forgotten masterpiece of 20 years, but I think it deserves more accolades than it's gotten so far. I don't think it's
It has a
doing
65
very well.
Metascore, which is fine.
Yeah.
It has an average of 3.1 on Letterboxd.
Yeah. But it's not been out for very long, so I can't really say yet.
No.
But so far, it's done 3 million, which is not good. But like you said, it's only been out for like a couple of days.
Oh yeah, it premiered today in Sweden. So.
But I get the feeling, like we were here on premiere day. Sure, it's Wednesday when we saw it.
Yeah.
So sure, yeah, not maybe a lot of people see it this weekend, but still, I get the feeling this movie is gonna come and go.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And it deserves better than that.
It is one of those like summer movies to me, but it's a little bit early for the summer movies to start.
Yeah.
Should have waited a little bit longer, maybe, because we are on the latter end of the premiere schedule.
Yeah.
With Germany, though, getting it in September.
Jesus, okay. So hopefully it has legs or fins and can do better. Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway,
spoilers.
Let's get into spoilers. So yeah, if you don't want anything spoiled, turn it off now and come back later. Of course, hit like, subscribe, all that if you're on YouTube.
All that stuff.
For the moment, you can't listen to the podcast anywhere else, but I think I've fixed that for now.
We had a little bit of
a fucking false
snafu.
Copyright strike, which bullshit, but we won't get into that. I think I fixed it, but yeah.
Good.
Spoilers. You have been warned. Now,
so
when Tucker dies, hey, word.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah. So
I think that was a really satisfying ending. But yes,
let's start with your one like
gripe. It is that though. It is his death. It's the shark that jumps up. It looked so bad.
But I didn't think the shark looked bad. I almost like, is this like the footage of a real shark and just he's CGI, the Tucker?
Something about the scene it looked CGI fake. The shark specifically maybe wasn't the issue, but the whole thing just looked so off compared to everything else in the movie.
Okay.
Because like every other half-eaten person looked fine. He looked weird. The sharks in the water looked fine. This one looked a little bit off, but maybe it was when they tried like, I don't know if the shark was real or not, but it just looked off. But that was the only time.
Yeah.
The entire movie where anyone looked off or fake or weird. Now I don't know. There's no trivia on this yet. So who the fuck knows?
Yeah. Yeah, and like we said, there hasn't been a lot of PR for the movie, so I don't know how much we can find.
No.
But like I said, I think most of the footage of the shark swimming is real, and then obviously when the fins start circling the people, those are obviously fake.
Sure. But they looked good enough, like
yeah,
because it's dark and it's in the water, like it's just fins. You can do that easily.
Yeah,
if you know what you're doing.
Just see if I can find something. Were the sharks fake in the movie Dangerous Animals?
Some people are being harsh, though. There's not a lot of. Okay, no, there's.
Okay, here's from Fandom Wire. It's a quote from Jai Courtney, so of course he's trying to glaze the movie a little bit. He says, "Everything you see is real. Jai Courtney's Dangerous Animal did something that Steven Spielberg's Jaws could not. Dangerous Animals shows that sometimes the scariest creature in the water aren't in the water. They're sitting right next to you. Just see if you can find blah 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 blah. With real underwater footage and a human villain at its core, the film flips the genre's usual script. Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. It's pretty long.
No.
But from what it seems, yeah, most of the sharks are real.
Yeah.
Every shark that you see underwater is a real shark. Fins above the water are CGI. Okay, they're CGI. Sure. They kind of look like mechanical shark, or,
a little bit, yeah.
People, with fins on their back swimming around. But yeah, I didn't really have a problem with it. I thought the shark looked real enough, and I almost thought like at first that they had like a fake like half-eaten Jai Courtney like prop, but then he does.
They just fed the shark.
You reach for her like that's fake, that's fake. But it looked real enough for me. I didn't really have a problem with it.
No, I did have one other problem with the movie but it's not really a problem. It's just that the dialogues were kind of off sometimes.
Yeah,
like her response when he asked her, like, so what do you want? What's left for you? What's in your life or something? He asked her something like, "What's there for you? What made you want to surf?"
No.
And instead of saying like, "Oh, I wanted to like experience freedom," or "I needed to get away from the people in my life," yada yada, she's like, "Because." No. That's not how you start a response to what made you want to surf. Because it just feels really off the way she said it.
I guess
Technically it's correct. It just sounded like such a weird way to phrase a response to what made you want to surf.
Yeah. Yeah, and then her whole backstory and her being like very, I don't want anyone to get too close. It was very, very basic. Like
yes,
and in the end, it is her wanting actual connection to someone that saves her, and
of course
wanting her to save him, the guy, whatever his name was, I don't remember.
Moses.
Yeah, Moses.
Moses.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, the plot was not super interesting. What was interesting was Jai Courtney's character and the way they handled the sharks.
Yeah.
Everything else was kind of the back and forth, like she's gonna escape. Damn it, he got her back to the boat. That happens like 3 times.
Yes. But each time I was like, oh shit, is she actually gonna do it this time?
Yeah.
Did she get away? But no. And then she voluntarily comes back in the last time, and still fucks up.
And I think there, because I don't know if we talked about it off air or in the podcast, but when we had seen the trailer, I immediately thought the movie was going to go in a different direction than it did. So I can't really fault the movie for not doing that, because this is what I wanted it to do. But I thought it was going to become this, instead of a cat and mouse thing between Tucker and Zephyr, I thought it was going to be, they would have to kind of create an uneasy alliance to together survive the sharks.
Yeah, right. That's what you said. Yeah.
Because there is one thing in the trailer where he you see him it looks like he's looking into the water. He's like, "What the fuck?" or "What is that?"
Yeah.
Like, ooh, so he's there to kill people with sharks, but then a fucking monster shark or something shows up,
Yeah.
But no, that didn't happen. What he's looking at is her missing from the bed where he tied her up, because she bit her own thumb off.
I'm curious. My first reaction was like, is that even fucking possible? But I guess it is.
It is. I mean, we have
if you really want to.
We have the very famous case of Aaron Ralston, who was, who got stuck with his arm in a crevice.
The 127 hours or whatever.
And when he was about to die, he was like, I either cut my arm off or I die. So he cut his arm off with a Swiss Army knife. It took him 2 days to do it.
But can human teeth eat through human flesh like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because think about it. Yes, if you bite yourself, your pain response is going to make you stop. The same way, if you touch a hot plate on a stove, you're going to recoil because the body doesn't want to get hurt. But if you overcome that, yes, definitely. If you accidentally bite your lip or tongue, you could easily bite through it because your what is it called? Pounds per square inch, bite force is insane. How hard we can bite.
Yeah, I guess
we could easily bite through flesh. We just.
And I mean, she did break the bone first, so.
Yeah, exactly. So all she had to do was just rip the thumb
honestly,
off. Honestly, if it's life or death.
Yeah, I know. The adrenaline shit.
Yeah.
That was the nastiest scene in the entire movie.
Yeah, and that's kind of where she became the dangerous animal of the title.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, I think that's what the title is playing on, that humans are the dangerous animals.
Yes, exactly. Definitely.
But I almost wanted her to become more of a, like, hunting him instead of him hunting her. There's a little bit of that, but I wish it'd be more of it.
Yeah, like turn it around, make him the actual victim here.
yeah. Or prey, at least, not victim.
Prey, yeah.
We get a little bit of that, but not enough.
A little bit. She's impressive, though. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
Most humans wouldn't have the emotional and mental strength to do anything she does.
No,
and not the fucking bodily strength either. Jesus Christ. Missing a thumb and still, like, hauling yourself up a stick vertically. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, surfers are strong, but Jesus Christ.
And I also liked when we saw the first victim, Heather.
Yeah,
because what he does is he puts you in a harness and he puts you up in like a crane with a wire, and you can slowly
winch
thing, yeah, because it's a fishing boat. So you can slowly lower you into the water. So the sharks can eat you while you're still attached to the boat, and he can film you as you die. That's his thing.
It's his own kind of snuff movies.
yeah. And I was like, just be still, because that's the one thing. It's not always going to work, but if you don't move, they're not going to perceive you as food or a threat. And you're just going to swim away. And I was like, stop moving. And then the next time that Tucker does it with Moses, she tells him, don't move. Whatever you do, don't move. And it works. Yeah. But then, of course, he reels him in, stabs him, so he starts bleeding, and then, of course, the sharks go for him. Well, they don't. But,
but it is a natural reaction, though, to start flailing when you're in water and sharks are around you. You know they're there to eat. Well, he wants them to eat you.
Yeah.
So I understand why she did it, but my instincts were like, stop the fuck.
Move, yeah.
Stop moving.
Stop the fuck?
Because, you know, like, whenever there's a shark attack, it's usually because they see a surfer on a surfboard.
Yeah.
And they're paddling, so they look like a fucking seal flapping about.
Which Tucker mentions that's how he got attacked by shark, and kind of where this fascination for sharks was born. He was attacked when he was on a surfboard.
Isn't that like in movies when there's like other serial killers? It's like, oh, but they were abused when they were kids, and then they got a fascination for like hurting other people because they were hurt.
Yeah.
It's this, but with shark.
yeah. It's a classic, like how a person can like turn psychotic.
Trauma.
Yeah, trauma. Then there are people who are just born like, I don't know if you can say born evil, but they're just like born that way. People like Jeffrey Dahmer. He had more or less a regular upbringing. There was his mom wasn't great, but he wasn't abused or anything.
Exactly.
And he still, like, from a young age, liked to kill animals. And then it became, him wanting to, control and kill people in the worst possible way. Like, that is just someone who is psychotic. Sure. He's a psychopath.
But the way they did it in this movie was exactly like one of those where, like, oh, a serial killer or a serial molester or rapist or whatever.
Yeah.
Does it because that's how people treated him when he was a child.
From trauma, yeah.
Yeah. But instead of the human predators, they were sharks. So now he wants to feed people to sharks.
Yeah, like he refers to them as gods.
Yes.
Because he probably had he had a near-death experience.
Out-of-body experience. Because, I mean, surviving what he says he did, and the scars show pretty well that he did. That's a walking miracle, like he calls himself. That's a miracle.
Definitely. Well.
Yeah. The only thing I found, I guess, annoying. I don't know. I didn't like that her name was Zephyr, and she was a surfer, and she was the American, like, California girl. It was a bit cheesy. She was a bit too much of a pick-me. I don't know. Like, oh, I'm the coolest girl in the city.
But she wasn't really a pick-me. She was a...
No.
But I know what you mean. Like she was, I'm not like other girls.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yes.
but she didn't like you. She never like said that. But I know what you mean. Like she's different.
She had that attitude somehow.
Yeah, and that's like and that there's this kind of connection. Like that's why he was attracted to her. Because he saw her surf, and when she's out surfing, she's free from all her, her fucked up upbringing,
foster homes and all that,
foster parents and all that. So yeah, there's definitely some, abuse there. Probably why she left. But
which is why he, like you said, which is why he chose her, even though that was a bit of a fuck up, because he usually makes sure people don't know where they are. No one's gonna miss them, and well,
yeah.
He saw her texting.
Yeah. But he definitely had a type, because there's a scene where he has to go into back onto shore to pick up some supplies, and he just happens.
New camera.
Yeah, he happens to catch a glimpse of another hippie girl, and he's like, "Ooh."
Yes.
He kind of wants to grab her, but it's like, "No, I don't have time. I don't have time. God damn it." So he
I already have a victim.
Yeah.
Waiting, or two, I guess, by now.
But yeah, so. Having her...
No, that's before he knows Moses is there.
Yeah,
whatever.
He's on his way back to when Moses is already there. But I mean, yeah, it was a little formulaic that her background, it was this like, that's what gave her the strength to survive. It's like, yeah, I know that's every final girl.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cooler if it was just a regular like non-problematic upbringing girl?
Yeah, like, no, she was just, her parents are supporting her, she got money from them, but she wanted to, like, take a leap year or something, just go to Australia and surf, because she's a California surfer girl or something.
Yeah.
Just wanted to try new waves.
Yeah.
They won't miss her if she's gone, because she's gonna be gone for a year either way.
Yeah.
Or something.
Kind of like in...
that could have worked as well,
Kind of like in The Shallows, which...
Yeah.
We both really like. I have rewatched it. It's not as good on repeat watchings.
No, I guess that's
But
true.
I think that movie got like bad reviews. Like ultimately it's remembered like a bad movie. And I was like, oh, that's not fair. Wow, it's almost 10 years old. I thought it was newer than that. 59, it's not too bad. But she's just a regular girl. Sure, like her mom died in cancer and she's here to kind of like forget about all that.
Sure, but that's not what makes her strong to survive. You know? She's not. She's not had to fight her entire life or anything.
No, there it is that her trials and tribulations during the movie is what makes her want to fight for her life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, she's like, "Well, oh shit, what am I supposed to do?" And then she almost gives up. But because of what she's been through throughout the movie, she's like, I can't fucking give up now.
I'm so close. Because that's the entire movie. She's so fucking close.
Yeah.
To shore all the time, but
she could technically just swim to shore, but there's that damn shark.
Yeah, that won't give up.
Yeah, I mean, it even says here in the tag, a mere 200 yards from shore, Surfer Nancy's attacked by a great white shark. Yeah, her short journey to safety becoming the ultimate contest of wills. Yeah. Where it is, where it is, where the shark kind of represents defeat, giving up. Like she could just give up, but
she could just jump into the shark and give up. Yeah.
Yeah, but she chooses not to. And I think that's a more interesting character, even though I think this is a better movie.
Yes.
The Shallows, like I said, first time I watched it, it was amazing. Second time, it's like, I know what's gonna happen, and it's a nice arc, but like, it's just a waiting game to get to the end of that movie.
Yeah, funny thing though, the most nasty scene in The Shallows is also not including the shark. It's when she sews her wound together with her necklace or whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh.
It's one of those. It's the medical stuff that's nasty.
Yeah,
the human body being broken.
The wounds look so real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's funny that the sharks aren't the bad ones.
Yeah.
No, overall, like I don't have a lot to say about this movie, but overall, it's a
good movie.
Good movie.
Good movie.
I'm really glad I convinced you to go and see it.
No, I wanted to go see it. I was just not sure if it was a good is it gonna get enough clicks? Because
who the fuck knows?
We've also had a bout of low viewer score, or whatever to call it, recently. I don't know what is going on. Even though we picked like pretty popular movies for the most part, which is
Maybe
something
we're just a little,
I don't know.
late to the game sometimes.
Yeah. Also, maybe something, I don't know if we should discuss it here, or maybe I have an idea, maybe to pivot the podcast a little bit.
We'll talk about that on the members exclusive episodes, because that's where we do all the behind the scenes shit.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Because let's not bog down movie review with behind the scenes stuff.
Sure. No, yeah. No, but yeah. I really don't have much more to say about the movie. It's
No,
not,
me
it's,
neither,
it's
but
not. It's not super complex. It's not incredibly original, but it does enough. It's
original
enough.
enough.
It's
though.
original enough. It's good. It's well made enough to be entertaining. I did like roll my eyes a little bit with all her like, well, yeah. Oh, when she like tries to pick the lock of the handcuffs, and Heather, the other girl's like, oh, where did you learn that from all your like fucked up, foster parents? She's like,
Did you learn it in juvie? It's like, well,
it
no.
was like, ugh, whoa, of course.
She doesn't even know like she knows how to actually pick a lock though.
Strength born from trauma. I was like, yeah, that's every goddamn movie. Can we try something different?
She, like I said, it doesn't look like she knows what she's doing though. She's just like, I've seen it on TV. They just wiggle it about, which I mean, kinda.
Yeah. Although I don't know. I don't know how real. I'm pretty sure you need, because in real life, at least, like for padlocks and stuff like that, you need two pieces in there.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So I don't know how real it is. You can just use one little bobby pin or whatever. But
handcuffs are so skinny. There can't be too many like prongs in there to push up.
Sure. And I mean, I'm fine.
Maybe one is fine.
So many
I don't
movies
know.
have done it, so I don't really care.
No. I mean, she doesn't succeed, so it's fine.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I'm just thinking
a
of
close call scene though, with the Heather trying to cover up the fact that she was no longer wearing her swimsuit.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of Rami Malek in The Amateur, when he has to pick a lock, so he looks up a YouTube video like how to pick a lock. Oh, and he does it. Yeah.
Because there is that lock-picking lawyer or whatever.
Oh yeah,
on YouTube.
There's a bunch of lockpick channels. Yeah.
I fucking love those.
Yeah. And it's
especially when the companies go like, no man, he faked it, he rigged it, and he's like, no, just orders a new one and breaks it straight away.
Yeah. And I mean, on like simpler padlocks, I have done it. I've done it with like a training padlock. It's
yeah,
not
I mean,
that
if they're small enough, you can just pull them apart.
You can kind of brute force it. Like you put one in and you just go up and down, up and down, up, and as long as you hear the clicks, you hear 3 or 4 clicks, you're done.
It's like in Skyrim.
Yes.
No, it is. I know.
It's not far from truth, that one.
Yeah. When you hear the click, you're good.
Yeah.
Move on, next one.
Yeah. Anyway.
I did see a comment on Letterboxd that we need to just address quickly. She had so many opportunities to kill him, and she ignores all of them.
That was
which
one.
I partially understand and partially dislike. Because yes, in the moment you are just like one hit run because you just want to get out of there, really. But she has been this badass bitch the entire time, so why not just keep hitting?
Yeah.
I understand the one in the kitchen where her knife gets stuck in his hand, because I'm assuming she wouldn't just be able to like, pull it out and keep stabbing.
But that was the one where I thought, like, just kill him, because at that point she had already like hit him once, left, got caught again, hit him once, left, got caught again. At that point, she has him stabbed, she has the frying pan, he's down on the floor, just hit him again.
Keep hitting with the frying pan,
hit him until he stops
Smash
breathing.
his head in.
Yeah. Why not?
And
it's
he does the same mistake though a few times, so I
sure,
it's fine, I guess. But he has a reason. He wants to keep
he wants to
people
kill her
alive
in a
because he
specific
wants
way.
to film it.
But it was a little. I think I said it out loud, like, just kill him.
Yeah, you did.
I don't know if you heard it. Yeah. It's actually got some people have given like really good reviews. I don't know, like, here's one, 4.5 stars. I don't know if it's a like real review, but it says, bro was so down bad he ended up finding a serial killer for her. Yeah.
I mean, that was also kind of like it's not just that he was down bad for her, it's just like that's the polite thing to do, kind of.
Yeah,
he didn't know what he was getting himself into. And once he was there, it's like, am I just gonna back up? No, I'm gonna fight this dude because he hit me.
But also, when he starts looking for her, and he gets to the boat and he hears her because she's banging on the like, at that point, just get off the boat, call the cops, and just stay
or
there.
At least pull up the phone call as you're doing the rest, not run around. Like, call them while you're looking. Like, I'm at Tucker's Experience boat at blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
There's a girl screaming. I think it's my friend. Either way, please come. Please bring cops.
Once again, the movie wouldn't have been a movie if he did, but it's one of those things you have to try to remove those moments in your script. Like, no, he probably should have just called her there, so let's say that.
At the same time, we need to, like, when we're watching a movie, because I keep bringing this one up whenever it's this kind of thing in a movie, you don't think rationally when shit happens, when shit hits the fan. You do forget certain things until someone screams at you to call the cops, or someone screams.
Sorry, I have to. It's my nostril is red. I have to stuff something.
It's fine.
Yeah, sorry.
I just didn't see it happen, and just all of a sudden you have something like green in your nose.
Yeah.
When shit hits the fan, you don't think rationally always. You kind of forget certain things.
I guess, and it's easy to say, like, watching a movie, like, oh, I would have done this.
Exactly.
But I'm hoping.
I always say, don't run upstairs, but instinct would make me run upstairs, probably. But even though I know that's a rule.
I hope I would be more rational, and especially a person. Sure, he fell in love immediately, but I'm sorry if I was him. Yeah, like, oh, I really liked her. I still wouldn't go and save her. Like, if I found the boat, I heard someone was in there, even if it's not her, just call the cops instead.
I know.
It's so dumb. Like, oh no, I'm gonna go on board on this boat where this woman has been kidnapped, probably by someone insane. I'll just go on the boat. No. Call the cops. They have guns. There are more of them.
They're more capable, probably.
Yes. And then wait around. Even if, like, Tucker comes back and the boat leaves, fuck it. I'm staying here. I'm going to say, he left that way when the cops come.
Honestly, though, I mean, he does manage to get the cops to care enough to do, like, a search of the beach.
Sure.
At one point. And that's when he figures out, oh, wait, there's Beach Watch, the camera thing that he goes online to watch.
Yeah.
Why not just go, hey, cops, by the way, I know which night she arrived there. See, there's footage. This is the last car to leave the spot. Maybe that person saw something. Maybe you should go talk to him instead of doing it himself.
Yeah.
Like, call the tip line and go, hey, maybe this dude knows something.
And then the movie could have been
instead of going there.
And the movie could have been about the cops getting on the boat, and he has to fight the cops instead. It could still be a movie, but then
that could still be a movie.
Then they wouldn't have.
They could be like, yeah, we'll send one guy, and it will be just one guy still.
Yeah.
But we didn't have the romance thing.
But they wouldn't have the two lovers fighting for each other. But that is
both of them could have come there, and the cop would have been killed straight away instead of that the neighbor.
Yeah.
Could have had that.
Yeah. The
neighbor was really unnecessary, but
like, the cop arrive and he's like, it's over on this boat, and they both run up to the boat and they go in there, and then Tucker shows up and kills the cop. Yeah,
because he surprises them and he managed to kill the cop straight away, and that's when Moses start fighting him.
Yeah,
and they still have the fight.
So yeah, we just wrote a better version of the movie.
Yeah,
as usual.
God damn it, as usual. Yeah, keep saying we should fucking write stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard though. It's hard to write something really long. Yeah. Coming up with small scenes, small moments, sure. And keep writing? Hell no.
And having the mental fortitude to, like, no one is ever going to see this or read this, but I'm just gonna write it anyway. Like,
write it anyways. No. Send it somewhere and hope they want it.
No. You should, but. So far, I haven't.
We are. Our confidence is too low for that.
Yes.
We say filming ourselves once a week.
Yeah, but this is easy. This is not sitting down and writing something for 6 months.
This is yapping,
bullshitting for an hour and a half, or even that.
Literally yapping.
Yeah.
We have no script for any of this. Whenever we try to have a script, it fails completely.
Yeah.
Anywho. I think this is a 3.5 for me. I really liked it. Like, I'm not gonna say it's an amazing movie. It's not perfect. It's not film or cinema. It's a good movie.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Really good movie in my opinion. I really liked it.
I agree. Let's see if there's any.
So I am actually gonna rate it right now, or I'm gonna forget.
Oh yeah, I haven't put it on Letterboxd yet. Let's see what some of the
Adding
people
it to
said.
my lists so I can remember that we can put it into the award show.
Yeah.
In the end of the year.
It has, like I said, it has a 65 on Metacritic, and the highest it has is 80. Oh wait, 86, I think.
Wait, I need to check the.
Yes, Paste Magazine. Jim Vorl writes, "It's fascinating and enlivening to watch how the fusion of two intensely familiar subgenres, serial killer thriller and shark starring B-movie, can result in a work that is somehow brimming with life and verve." And then Liz Braun for Original Sin writes, "It's all claustrophobic and terrible and wildly entertaining." Phil DeSemlian, who I think wrote for Empire back in the day, wrote for Time Out here, given 8 out of 10. "It takes a steady hand to pull off a horror film as outlandish as Dangerous Animals." Sure, yeah. A movie, lest we forget, that is literally about dangerous animals. But Byrne has pulled off something slick and confident here. It'll keep horror fans out of the water for years. No, but that's the thing. The water isn't what's scary. The sharks aren't really what's scary.
No, it's the humans.
Yeah, and that's what I like about this. That it isn't like. No offense to Jaws, it's one of the best movies ever made, but that movie made me scared of the water. It made me scared of sharks.
Exactly.
Because the shark is more, even though they don't really want it to be, it is more of a monster in that one. Like, first of all, it's extra big. It's the biggest one they've ever seen.
Yes, of course.
And it's literally stalking them and all that. Nothing wrong with that. But here they went for, like, the sharks are just animals. It's like Steven Spielberg did a couple of years later, or a couple of decades later, with Jurassic Park. The dinosaurs, sure, they're scary, but they're not monsters. They're animals.
Not the bad guys, really. Yeah.
The humans are just in the way. The whole thing is that, like, there's a reason the dinosaur, or we were able to flourish, because the dinosaurs died out.
Yeah.
That's why. I mean, the movie is full of that kind of symbolism, but that's why, literally, in the end, why they survive is just because one animal eats another animal when the T-Rex just shows up and eats the velociraptors, and then they just run out of there, and he doesn't give a fuck because he doesn't care about them, or she, I guess it's she. And then the banner just says, "When dinosaurs ruled the earth," because they did, and they would have if they didn't die out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I'm scrolling through the user reviews on IMDb.
Yeah.
Most of them are like 7s or 8s. People are like, it's actually good if you give it a chance. Like, it's nothing spectacular, but it's a run of the mill, slightly above average, good movie, fun, like horror kind of thing. And then you have one star garbage. Bad acting, bad directing, awful writing. Yes, I see the irony of writing a small review that clearly took longer to write than this script. Kind of person. I was like, stop it.
That's
man.
not fair.
You're just being.
I'll say that the writing isn't stellar, but it's not garbage writing. It's fun.
No.
Some of it's really
good. They could have used
some of it's,
someone else reviewing it maybe and adding a little bit more to it. But for a first-time script,
it's pretty good.
Good on you, dude.
Yeah. The lowest it has.
I wouldn't even have thought of the premise, if I'm being honest. So
no, mine would have been that there was a monster shark, and then the sharks would have turned into monsters.
Yeah, because it's always the sharks being the monsters.
Not a monster shark, but just it would have been. I don't know. But it would have still made it about the humans that they have to together fight.
But the shark still has to be more than just a shark, because otherwise it's not a shark movie.
Yeah.
Again, spectacular that someone thought of it being like, no, but the sharks are just sharks. They're just, not fish. They're mammals?
Mammals, yeah.
Mammals, yeah.
The lowest it has is a 4 out of 10. Los Angeles Times, Tim Grierson writes, Despite the juicy setup, Dangerous Animals is a disappointingly straightforward and ultimately underwhelming horror movie, offering little of the grim poetry of Byrne's previous work and far too much of the narrative predictability that in the past he absolutely sidestepped. I can see what he means there. because it becomes very standard in the second half.
Sure.
But I think it has won over the audience enough for them to kind of
By then.
accept it still. Like, yeah, it was still really, really good in the first half.
Yeah. Like, what else can you do? It's a closed quarter, cat and mouse kind of, hunter-prey thing. What else can you do?
No, yeah.
And if you want to include the sharks, you kind of have to be on the water, because you can't have sharks on land unless it's Sharknado, and fuck that movie.
Yeah.
That's the only time I can think of sharks being on land.
Yeah.
Like, I think this was well made and well thought through. It's just, you can tell that these people who made it aren't, like, seasoned. They haven't made hundreds of movies. And they didn't have, like, the biggest budget in the world. Even though the budget probably wouldn't have changed much.
No.
It just needed a little bit of fine-tuning. Mainly the script.
Yeah.
A little bit of the acting, maybe.
Eh.
She wasn't perfect. Whatever her name was, Harrison something.
No.
She wasn't that bad.
No. I
thought she was someone else at first, but then it's like, no, that's not her.
Yeah. I wish there was a little more exploration of Bruce Tucker's character, because he's the most interesting part of the movie.
Yeah.
We get enough to understand him, but just to a bit more of a deep dive,
Because he is a loner, so it would justify for him to, like, try and explain it specifically to her, since he sees himself in her a lot.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be too off for the villain to have his little spiel about why he does what he does, kind of.
Yeah.
To her, like, trying to explain to her, like, but you're just like me, you would understand if I told you why I'm doing this.
Yeah. Like if we had... we do have the scenes where he's watching people, and he rewatches people being eaten on the tapes.
Yeah.
But it just feels like he likes to watch people get killed. I wanted to almost like there's a little bit of that, like he explains, like he sees sharks as gods and everything, like they're the apex predator, not just in the water. But like when he's watching Heather getting eaten, it would have been cool to see him almost like get like more excited,
because he's watching it like he's watching a YouTube video, like
he's like, because he starts breathing faster and he almost looks kind of scared, but he's also like excited, stuff like that.
Thank God they didn't go the sexual route though, that he was like jerking off to it. That would have been
too
weird.
Much, yeah.
But like even the detail of him making that, like taking the hair and making a fishing, what's it called? Fishing lure?
It's a fly fishing lure. It's a fly. Yeah.
That's a nice little detail, but like we don't ever see him fly fishing,
No, we've seen fish once, but yeah.
That is true, but it's not that kind of fishing.
Yeah. That was just like, we need a fishing themed trophy he keeps, and of course hair, because all creeps take hair.
I mean, what else would he take?
Yeah, sure. Ooh, you know what he should have taken? But that would have been harder, I guess. Like teeth, because, some shark hunters keep shark teeth.
Yeah, but that would be too obvious. Like, that would be...
too obvious,
ooh. I mean, if they have sharp canines and he took them, they look kind of like shark teeth.
Yeah.
But the blunt teeth, doesn't look the same, dude. Not the same effect as shark teeth.
I'm just thinking, like, going back to Jurassic Park, like to really show like humans having this reverence for animals that are obviously more dangerous than we are. The scene where Dr. Grant are with the kids, Lex and Tim, and they're running away from the Gallimimus, the ostrich, big ostrich dinosaurs, and they hide behind the log, and then the T-Rex shows up. That's why the Gallimimus were running, because they were scared of the T-Rex. And they're just watching the T-Rex eat the Gallimimus. And Grant is like, come on, we gotta go. And Tim is just like, he's frozen in like, in awe, but also in fear of seeing this giant animal
monster.
Eat the monster. Yeah, and he even says, look at all the blood. Like he can't, like, I wanted that kind of reverence from Tucker towards the sharks. We see a little bit of that, but a little bit more.
Yeah, he should have been more starstruck when the Great White turned up, basically.
Yeah, because like, ooh,
Because he was a little bit, but like, instead of being starstruck, he was like, yes, this is exciting.
Because we have that scene, which was probably my favorite scene in the movie, where Zephyr, she gets dropped into the water, and the shark, the giant Great White, comes towards her, but she stays cool, and she tries to like put pressure on her wound so it doesn't bleed too much, and the shark just ignores her, but it swims just past her, so she gets to see the whole thing. It's just like this wonder of nature, this prehistoric like living fossil, which sharks are.
Yeah,
because they haven't changed in millions of years.
And it's scarred, and it has lived a long life, and you can tell that by all the markings and stuff.
Which is like,
it's just like us.
It's just like me. It has scars. Yeah. But it's just an animal. It's not a monster. And I love that whole scene. I wanted something similar with Tucker. Like when he gets into the water, he sees the shark.
Instead of freaking out, maybe he should have been like, finally.
Yeah, like
or something.
Yeah, they could have mirrored that scene, because he falls into the water after she shoots him. Oogie boogie, motherfucker, and shoots him with the
fucking harpoon.
Yeah. And he falls in, and the same thing happens. And he's like, he tries to stay calm, and he's like, oh yes, I get to like the shark, but and that could have been cool. That could have been more poetic. He doesn't get scared, but he's almost like, you kind of want to like make him more pathetic because he is scared in the end. I get that.
Sure.
But if you want to make the character more complex, he sits completely still as the shark approaches. But then he realizes, like, wait, this is it. I can be devoured by my god. And he just, like, fucking, like, shoves his stomach to the wounds and more blood comes out and starts flaying out.
Yeah, like...
And he's like, lets the shark eat him.
Or, like, that he's like, yes, come and finish the job that you failed many years ago. Something like that.
He is so mesmerized by sharks that he's like, maybe I want to get fucking eaten by it.
Yeah, maybe that's what I want, really.
Yeah. That could have been something.
It could have had a little bit more depth to him. Just having that little moment be more...
Or have it be that he faces the shark, and he's like, oh my god, yes. And then when the shark gets a little too close, he does get scared, because ultimately he is, like she says, you're not an apex predator, you're a fucking worm. You're the lowest of the low.
Like
you're like, oh no!
He wants it to bite, but then when it actually bites, it's like, shit!
Yeah, exactly. He thinks it's going to be this
euphoric moment.
Yeah, but essentially it's like, fuck, it hurts.
Yeah, and it's gruesome, it hurts.
It's like when Quint gets eaten by the shark in Jaws. He's been this fucking badass the entire movie, but as soon as the shark gets him, he just screams like an insane person. Because that's what a person would do when they're getting bitten in half by a giant shark. So that would ultimately humanize him. Yeah. That could also have worked. But instead, I do like, though, that when he gets eaten by the shark, the last thing he does is look straight into the eyes of Zephyr and just goes...
Yeah, because it's like a tiny moment of like, shit, I guess you won instead.
Yeah.
Like,
you were the apex.
Guess you're the apex now. Yeah. Or it could also be like, see, you're just as bad as me.
Yeah.
We are the same. We are similar.
And then she goes to save Moses. She's like, oh my god, you're safe. I'm so happy you came to save me. And then there's this moment where she's like, he goes up to the water, so like, fuck you, whatever, to the water. And she stands behind him and she's like, should I push him in? Because now she's mesmerized by the sharks, but then she doesn't. The movie cuts there. Like, did she become obsessed by sharks? A little bit of complexity.
Yes. Also, honestly, the whole thing about her being dragged in by the fucking harpoon string was a little bit unnecessary.
That was unnecessary, yeah, because it didn't...
It was just to, like, add a few more minutes.
Because we already had the big moment where she, like,
came back,
connects with the shark. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was just like, oh no, she got pulled in, and then she swims back to the boat.
It was only to, like, trick us, to be like, it's not over. Yeah.
But why?
It would have been better. I honestly thought she would die there, and then he would just die. That would be the worst death. So Moses' death would be the worst then.
Yeah.
Slowly bleeding to death, chained on a boat in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but that's what happens, because they're just animals. They don't care about you.
Yeah.
That could have worked. That could have worked too, but it would have been probably
worked.
the worst ending.
But I did like the happy ending.
Sure. Cheesy as it is.
I like a happy ending. Cheesy and happy is really sometimes all you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking love cheese.
Oh yeah. Sure.
All kinds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Overall, like I said, I liked it. I recommend it. I think you should go watch it unless you have like acute fear of open waters and sharks in general.
Yeah.
Maybe not, because I guess that could be traumatizing.
Some of the scenes in the beginning were very like, oh, just the huge open ocean, and there's the scene where you see the boat from above.
Yeah.
Where the camera's below the boat, and you just see how fucking deep the ocean is, and there's like dozens of sharks swimming around, and it's like...
Yep. That's a bit scary, and I'm not a big fan of the open ocean myself, but I don't think I'm that scared when I know it's not something I have to actively do. Like playing video games in the ocean is scary. I can't really do that.
Oh, I don't really have a problem with that, because I know it's not real. I'm only scared of the real ocean.
As soon as I have to actively do something, it freaks me out. Watching a movie is fine.
Okay.
Playing Subnautica kind of works as long as it's shallow.
Oh, okay. I'm the other way around. Anyway, yeah.
Anywho,
that's gonna have to be it. Also, just want to say quickly, I know it's kind of behind the scenes stuff, but we're done already. I haven't uploaded our Mission Impossible companion video yet. It got lost in the shuffle of all the things happening right now.
Sure.
But I'm gonna upload it. You're gonna get it, I promise. Also, I did a little experiment with the Clips channel. Didn't really pay off, and I don't have the whatever you want to call it.
Energy?
Not the energy. I don't have the they're gonna get more views.
Say it in Swedish.
Tålamod.
Patience?
I don't have the patience to try and build a new channel. Even though a couple of the clips got a lot of views, but that was because it was a good thumbnail and title.
Yeah.
They're gonna get more views on my main channel. The clips are coming back to the main channel.
Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna focus on this one channel.
Yeah.
And for the Patreon/members episode for this, we're gonna do some shark movie. Maybe Underneath Paris.
Maybe Shallows. Maybe Underneath Paris. Yeah. Maybe what's the other one? 47 feet.
47 meters down.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good.
We'll decide offline.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good about Underneath Paris, so maybe that one.
Sure,
yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, you have to become a patron on patreon.com/don'tmake-a-scene to check that out, or become a member on YouTube to get all the member-specific stuff.
But that's it.
Yeah, that's it. For next week, we're doing... What was it?
28 years later.
28 years later, hell yeah. And of course, we're going to talk about the whole franchise for the patron stuff there.
Yes.
But that's it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching if you're on YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Leave a comment. You can leave comments on Spotify. I think you can leave comments on Apple Podcast. What did you think of the movie? We need all the interaction when we can. Tell all your friends and family. But until next week, have a good one. Bye. The Spoilercast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It's produced and hosted by Tobias Vedén. Co-host is Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. I also want to give a shout out to all our patrons over at patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. CK85, Christopher Billén, Daniel Gaiso, Annika Vedén, Jacob, Mom and Mac, and Laura Kim.